Hey, what's up you guys? This is Rob from The Gay Guy Plays, and today on The Quick Draw, it's all about that classic double penetration when we take a look at the Okina. Okay, so before I say anything else, I have to give massive props to DE for taking such an iconic weapon from the Ninja Turtles and turning it into a set worth bringing into space. But with that said, the dual daggers category has always suffered from a lack of range, lower than average damage, and honestly no defining advantages over any other melee weapon category. So the question is, does the Okina set a new standard, or is it just more of the same? Now, you can pick up the Okina's blueprint for 15,000 credits in the Tenno Lab of your clan dojo, but only after you've completed the research for the Nami Skyla. Just keep in mind it does take Mastery Rank 5 to craft. However, if your love for Raphael outweighs your patience, you can always pick it up in the market pre-built along with the weapon slot, catalyst, and the Spinning Needle's dual dagger stance, all for 150 plat. Now, its primary damage type is slashing, followed very closely by puncture, with an almost negligible amount of impact. While slashing is great at tearing away at many forms of flesh, it does suffer a bit with armored units. However, the Okina also features a strong base of puncture to help offset that. But to increase its effectiveness all around, be sure to equip the appropriate elemental combo in order to deal the optimal amount of damage. Okay, so straight into the nitty gritty. The Okina features the second highest base damage along with the highest attack speed in the category, making it the most powerful set of dual daggers in game. Which honestly doesn't say too much. The entire category supplemental stats are considerably lacking, with every weapon in the category sitting at 5% crit chance, and the highest status chance, which is the Okina's, is only 15%. And yes, you heard me right, I actually mentioned status as if it were a worthwhile stat, because the dual dagger category is literally scraping the bottom of the barrel. It's like last call at the gay bar, you're stuck with whatever you can get, and in this case, it's not much. In addition, aside from its newest stance, Spinning Needle, which happens to be fantastic, its previous melee stances were extremely lackluster, basically forcing you into one usable moveset. Now, speaking of having a limited amount of moves, can we talk? So I have to admit, as much as I ragged on the Okina, I did have fun messing with it for a little bit. Which kinda got me thinking, this is exactly what it's like to fuck around with an ex. See, the thing is, in general, it's nice to see them again and see what new moves they're packing. Especially if you still got a little bit of the hate sex in you. However, it's always important to keep the big picture in mind. First off, they don't get along with some of your closest friends, Body Count and Blood Rush. You'd never be able to depend on them performing in long engagements, so extended duration survival, whether it's in-game or in a relationship, is completely out of the picture. And most importantly, they were fun when you were still a little kid watching the Ninja Turtles. But then you grow up and some dick named Michael Bay gets his hands on them, proving that with time, everything just ends up looking more bloated and sun damaged. So while they are fun for the occasional poke, there's always bigger and better tools to spill more bodily fluids with. Now, sexual baggage aside, let's get back to the quick draw. So all in all, the Okina is the best, but only in the dual daggers category. I'm actually a big fan of its damage spread, and its attack speed combined with Prime Fury does give it a good amount of combat momentum, allowing you to quickly rack up your combo counter. That aside, while the Okina is by far not the worst weapon, there are a slew of much better ones out there that are also quite fun to use, which to this date is my biggest gripe about certain weapon categories that just have no identity. But on the bright side, this does come with an innate V polarity, which is very handy for all of the Prime melee mods that have recently hit the market. Because realistically, if we're only in it for a little casual penetration, it's nice to know that we've got the capacity to slot in the big stuff. So thank you all for watching another episode of The Quick Draw. If you haven't already caught it, be sure to check out my most recent episode on the Singus, as well as my snapshot on the It's All's Cold Snap augment. Now, don't forget to do all the things that I asked you to do at the end of every one of these. And as always, stay tuned for more ruined childhood experiences here at A Gay Guy Plays. You know, when you're running melee only, you tend to forget that situations like this can happen. And that's when mistakes are made.